podcast boys pop up here in a cool type font.
So what you're saying? So what
what we can chat about?
What are we saying?
So what you're saying is. So
basically, I just believe we should all be egalitarian. So what you're saying is you race and you hate women. It's like, well, I did tell that one. His voice as well, where he goes, no,
yeah. He's literally like laughing at her.
Yeah.
He's like, come on, darling.
I'm very.
On Joe Rogan, he was like, "Oh, she was really nice backstage," and then suddenly she like
switched on him.
No, yeah, mate, this is sick. Boom.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Now it's going to make Instagram take even more of my time.
Yeah.
But it'll make it look cooler.
It'll make it look cooler because we're good at that stuff, but it'll make it take longer. It does look cooler.
I'm doing overlays and fonts.
And we're live. What is going on, beautiful souls? It is Tim here with.
Got Benj in the house.
Sorry, Ben's all right. Ben's doing social media in the house.
And
boy
vegan. We just ate some good food, man.
You made it, yeah, man. Good food. We had rice and peas and some little pancakes, some little diddy pancakes. They were delicious.
Delicious, smoky pancakes.
We're in Birmingham right now with a turmeric tea. Nice selection. We don't have the same mugs as last time, do we?
No, yeah, we went pretty uniform.
Trying to balance it out a bit.
Is this Denby?
It's Denby.
Oh! Fancy guy.
Bit of Denby pottery going on.
I mean, so what's been happening since last time we spoke? Obviously you've been away. How's that been?
It's been about a month since we were last together like this.
Yeah.
I went to Thailand, had some fun. I call it the vegan capital or vegan mecca of Asia, Chiang Mai. And while I was there, I was going to travel from there. I was going to go as like a base, booked an Airbnb for a week, and had didn't book a return flight, but planned about 3 weeks to be there and travel around. And I was like, where else can I go? And Bali was the only other thing in my head that's also like vegan capital of Asia. Like between those two.
Yeah.
But the thing, I didn't end up traveling anywhere at all. I don't know if it's like old age or what, but I sort of settled into where I was and didn't want to be moving around. And it might be because I had a suitcase and not a rucksack, you know, if you need a bit of a travel thing. But I actually just found the spots I liked, the restaurants I liked. I had a couple of friends that I made while I was there. I started to learn the routes on the mountain, and I ended up like I said, I don't know if it's getting older or something, but I want to just go somewhere and spend like a month there and experience life in that neighborhood rather than just being like every few days traveling around. And then when you got to maintain your body, you got to do these daily routines. You got the more you're traveling, the more you start to neglect stuff. You start to eat, it starts to slack because you're just like, I'm travel mode, and your body gets a bit more survival attitude where it just eats anything rather than being like, I want to eat clean and find my good spots.
When you set up a base camp somewhere as well, you can kind of do a proper shop and like get stuff in that you're going to eat while you're there and things like that. It gives you a bit better of a more healthy routine.
And an idea of what life is like to live rather than just be a traveller holiday guy, just to experience there. And what kept me in Chiang Mai over Bali in the end, I think, was sort of the trail routes and the fitness side of thing. I think Bali has a lot of good yoga and nice tropical climate and good fruit, but I just like the trails up the mountain in Chiang Mai. So I will visit Bali, I'm sure. But yeah, really good, and just sort of scouting it out for the boys. I feel like we want some winter, maybe some Christmas time, we'll go away somewhere, and that could really be a place where you can live like a king and just like feel good and get into good shape, rather than the usual winter comes and you you accept that you're going to get a bit out of shape and it's all right, but maybe we don't need it. Maybe we can get more in shape in winter than normal. What have you been doing since I've been away?
Me, I mean, to be fair, busy couple of weeks really. I've had Matt Pritchard on to do an interview.
Pritchard from
Dirty Sanchez.
Dirty Sanchez.
Yeah, he's going around doing a tour at the minute, doing talks at different places. So that's
promoting veganism or just about his story.
Personally, about his story. So like about some of the backstage and kind of behind the scenes stuff at
Dirty Sanchez. I remember when they came up, man. That was
really wild, wasn't
next
it?
level, yeah.
I remember being in a party with them guys once, and they did some crazy.
Yeah. It was funny because I was laughing with them about the fact that when I interviewed Jimmy Samara, my camera turned off like in the last 10 minutes, so I missed loads of it and I had to reshoot it.
Yeah.
And he was like, "That's nothing." I was like, "What do you mean?" He said, "I got shot and they'd not turned the camera on." he got shot with a shotgun and there was a camera on the floor pointing at him, and they didn't turn the close-up camera on. So he got shot, and the cameraman was just like, "We're gonna have to film it again." It's like, you joking,
no deal.
no deal. Even the guy who shot him was like, "Ain't doing it."
No, wow. Yeah.
So yeah.
Who else?
Good interview. Lauren Rose UK.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, which is definitely part of the ethics family. She would always run good stuff. Fit Pip UK, yeah, cool. And then Yasmin Sawyers last night. GB athlete, long jumper, really
singer
really interesting.
as well.
Yeah, singer as well. Yeah, super interesting. She's got a really great vibe about it, and she's a really inspirational person. So, and that's been good. And then
she's not gang yet, is she?
Not yet. She's on a transition, and I was really surprised when I did the interview. Obviously, you'll see this when I kind of release it, but I was really surprised at how little kind of nutritional information there seems to be out there for athletes,
GB athlete,
who you would assume. I mean, I always had visions like GB athlete. I bet they're like straight out of the gym, straight into a cryogenic chamber. But like everything they have is like measured out like to the teaspoon or whatever. But
it's just like Domino's pizza and stuff for those guys.
I think American college students get better treatment and nutrition than they do.
So I think I'll put her in touch with a couple of cool people like Harlem, who I know have got the nutrition on point. So I hope really we can influence her in that way, because she's such a good person, and really
it's crazy, isn't it? That my little cousin played for England netball, and she stopped being vegan because even though she was getting faster on the court and was just feeling better in herself, but when she asked her nutritionist for she's like, okay, so I'm vegan now, so I'm just I need to keep my protein up because everyone thinks I need to keep their protein up, and he was like, oh, Britt, not instead of being like, oh, this is what's like probably causing this change in your game or whatever. It's like, oh yeah, you can't get enough protein, you need to start eating chicken. Yeah. And she just stopped being vegan because her nutritionist, and because that's who's got her on her team, so it's like, oh, they know best. Yeah. And she called me and was like, oh yeah, they told me, like the nutritionist told me that it's no good for my performance, and I was just like, wow, that's their job.
Laziness.
That's their
Well, they're not unbiased. They're biased because of their own habits, because of the way they live, and they're inexperienced. And so the people can't take themselves out of the game and look at the data. This data is skewed for their own vision. It's
because if it turns out that this is right, I've got to make changes about me.
It's easy for them not to do it.
It's like justification, isn't it? How do I justify this to myself that I know something's the right thing to do, but I'm not doing it? Am I self-sabotaging myself by not doing it?
Well, there's enough science that's in the mainstream that backs up their arguments, so that it's easier for them to just keep going with that, and it's not really their fault. They're just doing their job, and they've gone to uni. Their whole world's built up around this one belief, and then suddenly vegans come along, and we go, actually we're better.
Everything's different now.
And it's hard for them to take, and it's like, then that's why no offense, but is England netball and not like the best? Yeah, true. The best, It's like, well, we'll see who's actually, but you've got the basketball players coming out. Like, probably talk about the full carrier.
But even them guys are trying to. The league isn't with them. The league isn't with them. It's them guys empowering each other. They're like, that's like top level.
Not the nutritionists.
I think the difference between the sports as well, such as like basketball or like whether it's netball or whatever, is you can like confide in your teammates and stuff and really get advice off each other if you both want vegan. I think in the athletics world, what's so difficult about that is it's like every man for himself.
Everyone's competition.
So even the people on your own team, if they win a gold, you don't win a gold. People don't really want to share everything.
It's a wolf pack, isn't it?
Who's the competition? That tall long jumper. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She does the heptathlon. She's really good.
I can't remember her name. Thompson something, isn't it? Katrina Johnson Thompson.
There you go. Ben, what have you been up to since we've been gone?
Hustling at the ethics office.
Ethics HQ, man. Holding it down. Thank you very much, Benjamin.
Always. That's what we do. Yeah, just getting new stock ready, stocking up old stock, planning a couple new drops. We've got samples coming tomorrow.
Seen some vlog stuff up as well.
I did a vlog.
So you've been at the Wagamama.
Went to a couple of launches. The Cook Daily Wagamama. Yeah. That was at Noodle Lab.
Cool.
Is that Wagamama?
Cook Mama. So it's a King's Bowl that's going into Wagamama stores.
What's Noodle Lab? Is that a Wagamama?
That's the Wagamama flagship.
Flagship.
Cool.
Yeah,
I didn't know that. That's the only place you can get the buns. You know, the little buns with the mushroom in.
Yeah.
That's the only spot that does the vegan ones.
I can see someone comment on when you think they're not vegan, bro.
I know. Well,
I messaged someone. I was like, if Ben's eating it, it's vegan, bro.
Yeah. Well, this is it, because I was in a Wagamama's and I saw on the vegetarian menu and I was like, oh no, I was eating them. Yeah. So I like called the waitress over. She was like, oh no, yeah, you can't eat them, they're not vegan. I was like, damn. And she was like, were you at the Noodle Lab one? I was like, yeah. She's like, oh yeah, it's all good.
Cool.
Yeah, she knew.
That's really cool.
But yeah, went to there. That was cool to see, man. That was really cool to see.
King on the Rise.
King on the Rise.
What was the
Wicked Health thing, which was
Tesco launch, which we got to try before I went away. Yeah. How was that then? So Tesco on the Rise.
That's just another great 18 options. It was 18, 20 options, just going straight into Tesco's fridges. That's just it could be a game changer, man. Just like wraps and sandwiches.
Well, we saw barbecue pizza. You got the
don't talk about Waitrose.
Well, we seen M&S. I see people post M&S got vegan sandwiches, and I've been trying for 8. I'm like, M&S should have been the first people to do vegan sandwiches.
Yeah, word.
And then we were in Waitrose and we're on the services, and we're like, maybe they'll have it. You know, we weren't sure. And finally, we've been to that Waitrose a lot of times. Normally getting the mangoes and the expensive fruit.
£6 mango.
But we were like, let's get they had 3 different options.
Yeah.
And we got one of each.
Yeah.
And absolutely
dead out.
Diabolical.
Dead.
Really?
One was called a green machine. One was basically a smoothie. A green smoothie with no avocado around bread.
No avocado. What are you doing when you're making a green sandwich and there's no avocado?
It's called a green machine. It was like made for vegans of 10 years ago. Or 5 years.
What we think happens.
Give an option, shut them up.
What we think happens is, and this is I think what happened with Jamie's Italian as well, because they put vegans option in a long time ago. But I think they get non-vegan chefs to create them. And then they sort of accept, because in their head, vegan, it doesn't taste as good as that stuff anyway. So then when they're making a sample, and well, it's just vegan, they've got to live with it. It's like, what about what Derek Sarno's doing, which tastes better than anything you've ever had? It's like, they need to be getting vegan experts in, because if you're not getting vegan experts, then you're not getting an optimal experience for your customers who are vegans.
Unfortunately, there needs to be a vegan department. There's a vegan research department in all of these big corporations. There needs to be now. There's got to be. They've got to put time and money into that.
Well, we had a meeting the other week with Unilever. And I understand people might have an issue with that, and it's like
you have to meet with them.
You have to meet with them people to change what's going on and to change their opinion, because they're the big ships and you have to get infiltrate into them. And we met with an absolutely lovely woman, Bogdana.
Yeah, Bogdana.
Yeah, and she's created 2 products within Unilever, and they've given her hardly any budget to do these projects. And one's out in Whole Foods in England and one's out in New York. And it's like a really healthy, clean stew pot. It's like a noodle. There's no noodles in it, but it's like a pot noodle type thing, and you put hot water in. And that was really good. And so she was pretty much completely vegan. She was vegan apart from she owns leather. That was the only thing she said.
You know what? I thought that was really cool about her, because it was like a lot of other people I feel would just be like, oh yeah, I'm vegan.
Yeah.
And she was like
99%.
I'm almost vegan. I thought she would be like, I have a bit of cheese, or I have a bit of. She was like, I have a leather couch that I haven't got rid of. I have a leather, and I was like, yeah, that's cool, man.
Yeah, she's really nice.
That's the real that's really ironing out the creases.
Yeah, proper. And so they've got her in to do that, and all these other companies are slowly starting to do it, and they're timid about it. But what Tesco did was admirable, for sure.
Very admirable.
Yeah.
And I mean, you've seen the amount of kind of social media around that and how many people have blowing it up. So it looks like it's doing really well.
They did a good launch because they got. You know what? Because they got a guy who's passionate to do it, and they didn't just try and here's an option for you guys.
No, when they did their speech about what, and they were like 3 American dudes, and they were just saying they were sick of coming to England and eating hummus wraps. And he's like falafel wraps. He's like, yo, what? It's like
that's what he said.
That's all you vegans get in England is hummus wraps. He's like, okay, we're sick of this. That's that's so true. Like, give us more options.
Yeah. We just did a event at Felix Price's in London.
Felix Price
Big
every
up
time.
Felix and the Urban Avatars in South London. That was a really cool. It was sort of a full moon party. It wasn't quite full moon. It was on a Sunday. They just wanted to do it on a Sunday rather than on the full moon day. But it was like a jungle drum and bass rave mixed with like spiritual chanting and Amen.
It was just a special place.
Cacao ceremony. the harpist came in at the end and just made everyone cry.
You could get full rub down massage like in the corner.
Yeah,
it was.
I really wish I saw all the stuff. I wish I was there.
Do you know what? It was
so good.
It was so good. It was like, because it was kind of like a school disco at the start when people started coming in, like just sitting around the edges.
Okay, yeah.
And then and obviously Felix has just this dope presence anyway. Like he's just this giant man that you just and like he just brought everyone. He was like, okay, everyone in, brought everyone in, and just did like little icebreakers movement, everyone tapping their body. And
yoga.
And that just really opened everybody up. And like as soon as that was done, it was like, okay, cool. Music started playing. We're all friends now.
That's how you start the rave.
That's how you start the rave. It's like we're learning all these little things for the parties, man. Like
that's really good.
It's cool. Yeah, we're gonna collaborate with them and do stuff.
Gonna collaborate.
That venue's great, and I think we're gonna put some talks on as well. We've got some good people lined up to potentially do some talks, and that's something we want to do more. Oh, I launched Mindful Warrior.
Oh yeah,
we did that.
It's a lot to talk about. Thank you so much to anyone that's supported it, that's subscribed to the mail list, or just, if you've done the bar workout. I hope you enjoyed it. You guys have seen the other day.
We did. It was really. We did it.
Good workout. We were struggling with the grip in the wet, weren't we?
Yeah, it's fun though.
But it was
manly, they're going out. Well, I can't really say it. Womanly, humanly, brave,
very brave.
You went out in the rain.
Yeah, and, we're waterproof, man.
Yeah, and that's good extra training with the wet bar. But yeah, that's one of the reasons I went out to Thailand, was to launch that. And yeah, it was a successful launch. Went well. I managed to do a workshop as well while I was out in Thailand. That was really cool. Got 15 people out, and I've actually got a workshop coming in London, March the 4th. If you want to do an in-person workshop, it's also combined with the Wim Hof method. So there's someone who's trained under Wim Hof, has got the qualification to do that, Martin Petrus, and me and him are teaming up to do a half-day Mindful Warrior, half-day Wim Hof method. So if you are interested in either of those, that is the perfect thing to come to. I think it's going to be an awesome day. I'm going to join in the Wim Hof as well. I think Ben's going to come.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Brett might be there as well.
Yeah, I'm up shooting down for that.
Yeah. So March the 4th, if you want to do that, I'll put a link in the video so you can check that out. But yeah, anyone that's supported Mindful Warrior, I hope you're enjoying it so far. We've seen quite a few course completions come through, and send us Instagram hashtags, stories, all that stuff. It's so good to see some people saying, like, he had clicky knees before, messaged me today, he's like, I had clicky knees and I'm doing your stair workout and they're not clicking and they're feeling a lot better. People with spine, he had bad spine as well, and the hanging on the bar is really helping with that. And it's like, some people I think are scared to try it because they think it's going to be some intense thing.
I got a nice little mental went out of it. I was saying to Benj at the time, when we did the peel the orange thing, I watched Benj do it, and I said, in my head I went, I can't do that. I was just like, oh okay, I'll give it a go, but I can't do that. That's too. And I went up and I did it, and I was like, I just did it a few times in a rhythm, and I was just like, taught myself, I just didn't know I could do that. And it's nice because if I'd not seen you do it, I would have I wouldn't have thought about it, because I just thought, oh, that's like a next level thing that I can't do. And it was really nice.
That's the point of the workout, is to give people movements and sort of lead them in to realise they can do more than they thought, and to give sort of incremental steps of movements before the movements, and they do that and they feel confident. And as long as you're feeling confident on the bar, then you're going to try the next stage and the next stage, and you've got to overcome a few fears along the way, but there's nothing that is not achievable by most humans in that.
It's how are you feeling stepping into the teacher role?
It's about time, really.
Well, exactly.
I mean, ETHCS was started as a clothing brand, on the side, but it's like my whole career has been as an athlete and understanding movement, and my passion from young has been movement. So then surely my gift to the world is going to be through movement, and to actually develop something that I feel is really unique and is needed right now by the workout movement fitness industry. It's completely missing, because everyone just wants to give everyone big asses and big muscles. It's like I said previously, I'm trying to build something that appeals to people's souls rather than their egos. So for those people that I've connected with, I know that they're connecting from their soul, and that they're passionate about it, and not trying to just show off and build some big body, but in turn they will get rewarded. It's the nature with veganism, right? It's like you're doing something out of compassion, and then the universe rewards you with better health and all this stuff. It's like you do something out of like an understanding and a love for your body, rather than a desire to look some aesthetic, pattern. And it's like, so that's sort of the aim of it, and it's nice to see it come to fruition.
I like it. I like like you say, it's about time you stepped into that teacher role. I find it amusing that I've been talking a lot about distilled water at the minute, and people are constantly going like, oh, this is so cool, like, yeah, I'm gonna get one, blah, blah, blah. It's been really well perceived. And I'm almost like, I'm messaging people and I'm constantly going, like, Tim got me onto it though. Like, I feel almost cheeky because I feel like you've like given me a lot of knowledge since we've known each other, and it's been nice that then like it's clearly affected me in so many ways. And then when I kind of put that out to the world on my kind of platform, and people are like, oh, really like glad about this, and I'm like, oh, it's nice that like Tim's affecting these people and it's affecting them through me in a way. Like sometimes it's nice to be a vessel,
paying it forward.
And
it's the simple truths. You know, I was speaking to my parents today about it, and they seem more receptive than ever to the fact that we are guinea pigs. Like the cigarettes was recommended by doctors, and then it gives you cancer. You know,
by the way,
asbestos, you know, was used
in your yard. Everyone's yard was full of it.
By the way, it gives you cancer. How many times do you have to wait for them to tell you that it's going to give you cancer for you to realise there's a lot of things in your life that you're not in control of, that you need to be the scientist of your life. And water is just a massive part of it because you're putting it in your body every day. And so once I addressed it, distillers is the simplest, quickest option. You can go beyond that and get all these other machines, reverse osmosis, and there are layers to it that you can spend more money on it and really clean it up. But I think just the easy starting point is a distiller, and I've got a video on that on my channel. But this is the thing I've realised with society is you can have all the knowledge and understanding and be healthy and happy and everything and want to help people, but they're not going to listen to you if you just try and give them information. There's three ways that I've realised. You've got the scientist, the artist, and the athlete. And this is what you have to be, one of these, to get people to listen. So you've got to be really on it with your science and just hit people like, oh, this guy knows it. Hit him with all the words that are hard to pronounce, all that stuff, Or you need to be an artist and be creative, because a lot of people are programmed through art, through the TV shows and the movies and stuff. And you've got to do the same and make fantastic movies using nice music and good settings and all that stuff, and that way. Or be an athlete, be just top of your game, and then people will respect that. And those are the three things. That's for me the activism of 2018, is to identify which one or two, or you can be all three. That's why I try and be all three of them right now. And that's how you can affect people and help them with veganism or with water or whatever knowledge you want to give to them. Is to identify what of those you can do and what you got to bring, rather than just giving it the information, weak information that's like you get it and just out of frustration trying to lash it out at people, and it's like channeling that and sitting on it and presenting it in a way,
And then what's powerful with that is you got to practice what you preach.
Exactly.
And
if by practicing you're already if you're practicing, that's what it is. You just got to practice what you preach. Because then you're like, oh, by the way, this is what I'm doing, and this is how I look. And this is this is how I'm functioning. This is how I feel. I'm not tight anywhere. I'm not like And that's the truth is in the pudding, isn't it?
It is, I think eventually with knowledge, though, it gets to a point when you're so like aware and your body's clean and your filters are a lot more like purer, that truth and knowledge becomes a feeling, and like an intuitive feeling, when you can hear something and you don't need it to come through art or science or an athlete for you to know it's true. It can come from some random old lady that claims to be channeling, and you can go, that resonates, and it becomes a feeling rather than the stuff. But to get people out of the world that they've been funneled into through these elements, we need to get them out with those, and then they can start to experience
true that
the other aspects.
Should have a look if anyone's sent any questions.
Shall we drop another bomb?
Would
you, bro?
So we just put out on Instagram some questions. What do we got?
I threw my Instagram on the floor because I was taking time.
Because Instagram's got a new fonts. It's going to take more time.
Follow me on Instagram, Ben John Earth. I'll plug it while we were waiting for the
and he just came through. You can only one dip out of hummus and guacamole for the rest of your life. This is from Vegan Jack, and that is a great question.
Hold on. One dip?
As in you can just choose one of the other.
One dip?
Yeah. For the rest of your life,
Out of hummus
and guac.
Oh,
but can you have avocado still? Because
you've had guac without avocado?
No, but I'm saying, like, can you have hummus and then still have avocado?
Of course. So that's like saying you could have chickpeas.
Okay, as long as guacamole, I think guacamole.
Guac's got to be guac. But then
I would miss hummus.
I'd miss hummus a lot.
With some pitta or something. Right. You got an answer?
I didn't hear the question because I was thinking I need to stop the cameras and turn them on again.
How's it doing?
It's about to run out. Yeah, it's like...
Do you want to answer it? Hummus or guacamole, rest of your life, you can only choose one.
Guacamole.
Cool, all three decided. Thank you, Jack. Yeah. Sorry, man. Oh yeah, that's the root. Poop stain. That's the root. Poop stain. Blocked.
That's cool. That is, bro.
Right. We've got a question here from Vegan Darko.
Okay.
How would you encourage others to use veganism and spiritualism to help with their mental health and motivation? Ooh. Are there any specific ways or things you would recommend to do or try to help them? People with mental health.
Who wants to attack this first?
Talk to them. Just talk to them first. Yeah, you can't just go to them and say, I'm going to address your problem with veganism. Yeah, talk to them.
Your mind is programmed through your body. Like you can program it through the things you're doing on a daily basis, whether it's exercise or the food you're eating. So the food we eat affects our mood. Like that is 100% fact. And veganism is not only naturally more alkaline, which is one of the biggest factors of what affects the body. It's more like less dehydrating. It's closer to nature. Basically, any step increments you make away from nature, the further you go. The further you build yourself down a rabbit hole physically for the body, and then the mind follows that as well. And the route back is through the body, is to heal the body. And vegan diet is one of the most natural things we can do and simplistic, and it's just a lot easier on the body in terms of fuel for energy and everything like that.
Yeah. I mean, my answer is going to be a combination of those two anyway. So you can't just tell them. You can't just tell them this is what we're going to do. We're going to address this because you need to feel like you find an idea on your own, and that's the only way you accept it. There's ego involved, and kind of taking ownership of an idea and absorbing it as your own is a massive part of accepting anything new. And then the other thing is everything is built through what we put into the body. And your diet just doesn't consist of food, it also consists of the media that you consume on a daily basis. And that really affects the mind. Something that resonated massively with me is when we went to that Anonymous for the Voiceless workshop. And you did the talk, and then you spoke at the end and said it's really important that you also protect yourself and look after your own body, because you're an animal as well. And you can't kind of fight for the animals and protect them if you personally not mentally strong and not strong in the body. So, you need to protect yourself and protect your own energy, because I always talk about not burning bridges with people and putting yourself out there and, exposing yourself to the world to help change things. But at the same time, if you're low on energy, that's when you're going to start to not interact with the world in the right way, because you're not high energy enough to do that.
And you touched on something super important, I think, there is taking in whether it's headlines or things, radio, news. I went around my mum's the other night, she was watching the news, and even though she wasn't watching it, we were having a conversation. I could just feel it just dragging me down here, just talking about, and I was just like, Mum, can we turn this off, and can you please promise me you'll stop watching as much? I was like, you haven't got to promise me. I was like, you really got to stop, you really got to be mindful of what you're letting control you.
Your subconscious is taking it all in.
100%. And it's like, even if it's YouTube adverts, they're not as bad, but like adverts,
mute when you
news,
can.
Magazines, put down magazines unless it's about unless it's a magazine about your car that you like or whatever, not about the Kardashians. Like, you got
Positive News. I don't know if that's still going, but there was a newspaper called Positive
shout out, she sent me some of that, So.
I think the problem is because YouTube's doing so well, and a lot about YouTube is kind of things cut short and pretty choppy and kind of like titles that are going to draw you in and things like that. The news and all other forms of media have actually followed in that suit, and they've tried to change things so that they can actually adapt it to be more like YouTube and try and get more hits. And the way in which they've done it on the news, everything, it's like, it's the typical, if it bleeds, it leads. The most outrageous information makes it to the mainstream, and that's because it's the news of millions and millions and millions of people.
It gets a reaction from people.
It's a thumbnail. The headline is a thumbnail nowadays. What's the thumbnail going to say to make everyone click this? And it's a whole.
For sure, if you're conscious of any kind of mental health issue, I think taking control of your subconscious, because that leaks over into your conscious mind, and that you getting your back door's wide open, and you're just getting blasted with all this stuff, like from the news, from billboards, commercials, the radio, and then other people in your life. The TV shows that you watch, you got to really check if you're watching dramas, or you're watching horror movies, and then you've got mental health issues. These are things that you got to, like you say, start to consume less of. Even though in your conscious mind you go, oh, this isn't real. You go into sleep at night, and when you go into sleep at night, your mind, whether you're conscious of it and not aware or not, is creating a movie, and you wake up from your sleep, and that how healing is your sleep. If you're having these horror movies that have been plugged into your subconscious mind, they're running at night when you're asleep. Like, you're not really going to feel that good when you wake up, and you might not know why, but you got to start taking control of your subconscious mind. And as you said about spirituality as well, that's what I would say. When you've got the body, mind, and spirit, if your mind is an issue, the two ways to fix it are through the body and the spirit, rather than trying to solve the mind with the mind. With the mind, it's like these are detours and bypasses you use. So looking at your spiritual practice, whether it's religious or you want to just read some spiritual text, find where you're at. It might be Abraham Hicks, it might be Joe Rogan podcasts, or it might be Seven Bomar, you know, wherever you want to get to. Eckhart Tolle, Power of Now, A New Earth, Eckhart Tolle. So some out there, or parables, like stories, like a Peaceful Warrior is a really good one. Celestine Prophecy, Anastasia. These kind of stories that are like more like positive stories. So a lot of the things we consume, there's always like got to be a bad guy or a negative spin. Try and find like positive stories that are inspiring, that have some spiritual message in there, that are about someone's spiritual journey, and then subconsciously you feel uplifted because you relate it to your life as well. And I think that's...
Do you want to be consumed in another story of someone else's creation, or do you want to create your own story? I think that's a really interesting way to kind of look at your own life. You know, you only identify with the characters in the stories that you watch or read or listen to, and that's why you get so wrapped up in them, when really you've got a longing and an urge deep inside you to make your own story, and that's the one you have full control over. So
right on. Yeah. You got a question?
Oh my God.
I haven't got any questions.
Cool.
You know.
We can do one more if you got one.
Yeah, let's have a look.
Dun, 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 dun. What daily practices, this is from Planted in Presence, good question, or good name. What daily practices do each of you have to help you enter into a state of conscious creation? Brett, you're in some daily creation at the moment.
So for me, I think it's kind of about controlling my environment. I think similar to someone who does exercise or anything like that, it's about setting yourself up to make it as easy as possible to do the best thing you can. So whether that's, you know, people who go out running every morning and they put the running shoes by the front door, or their kit at the end of the bed, just so they know as soon as they get up it's as easy as possible to do it.
Yeah.
I try and set up my kitchen as easy as possible. No matter how tired I am after I've finished an interview or a recipe video or anything like that, I try and make sure I get all loaded onto the computer straight away and wipe all the memory cards, and try and work myself into these conscious little practices of like getting all the batteries recharged and things like that, just to make sure that I know the next day I'm probably going to be filming again, and it's going to be as easy as possible to
That's
do
good,
it.
Yeah. Really good. Ben?
Is this for everyday practices?
Yeah, I mean, you're always lighting candles and incense and everything.
Yeah, I was just about
you're
to say
good
that.
with that.
I always I think it's important to set the vibe. And that, you know, that's just important, whatever you're going to do. So like you say, we're meditating, we're lighting candles, we're setting incense. But even if I'm working, you know, and I think that's like lighting. Well,
you said control your environment. That's the same thing, right?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, control your environment, and also breathe and smile. That's been my two things.
Two things.
It's like, it doesn't matter what you've got to do. You want to do it because that's why it's come to you. So you've obviously asked for this. Yeah. So now it's here. We've got to do it. So let's just breathe and smile and get it done.
Right on.
And that's how I'm moving through the winter months at the minute. Yeah, that's
nice.
That's my key.
I think for me, a daily practice is to always take myself to an environment where whatever I'm doing is more important or more fun than looking at my phone. Because at home sometimes there's not it's hard to pull yourself out of that. Yeah. But if it's going to the gym or going out into nature, then it's like, put that away, this is me, I'm here now with my body, and I want to experience this. And it's like just trying to do that once a day, like going for a walk after you eat or going to the gym or something. But take yourself out of work and out of home to one other environment and do that once a day. That's like,
yeah, I like that.
Especially
One
nature.
thing I've started trying to do on a daily basis, which I feel like a lot of people don't do, and it can kind of be why we lead ourselves into depression or into a place that we kind of wake up one day and say, I don't know how I ended up in the situation I'm in.
Yeah.
Is I don't think people audit their life enough, and I try and whether it's a 5-minute moment in a day, I try and ask myself, am I doing what I should be doing right now? Is it making me happy? Like, what do I actually want? Because so many people talk about this theoretical being on a beach and chilling moment, and it's like, how many times have you been on a beach or chilling and you're just bored? Or,
I hate me. I can't stay. I can't stay.
Is what you're doing actually feeding your creativity? And are you actually on a path that you want to be in? Because sometimes if you head in for a goal that you don't even know how you'd feel in that moment, it's an escape and it's not a goal. Like, try and build a life that you don't need a vacation from.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head there, because everyone is just trying to do nothing.
Yeah.
Do you know when you talk to people like, oh, what's the goal? Like retirement, it's just like, oh, beach.
Would you really be happy if you just
like,
doing nothing? Yeah.
I get itchy feet on like 2 days at the beach. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, what else is around here?
Yeah, for sure.
Like, no one wants that retirement. So it's
it's more important to find what you enjoy and make sure you live in that.
Play to your strengths.
Yeah, that's it. And on that note, thank you for your questions. Thanks for watching, your subscribership. If you want to support us, ETHCS.com. We got all these 3 things I'm wearing.
These are nearly sold out, so don't take long.
Plain grey tee, embroidered ethics, subtle. There we go. We got that, and you got the
nice sort of
primary on
message there. The primary.
On ETHCS.com without the I, or if you want to get the Mindful Warrior course, £22 one-off payment. Get the full course. You get access to me in the comments in the discussion board there. We can talk about where you're at, what you want to work on. I think that's it. We got brownies to try. We're going to load these cards on the computer and charge the batteries.
100%. That's what I do straight away. I'm already thinking about it.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Wholeness.
Be nice to each other.
I feel like I need a
slogan.
See ya.
See ya. Yeah.